No one noticed the human ship at first. The alien armada had already surrounded the system. Thousands of vessels, ancient and flawless, drifting in perfect formation. Their arrival had been predicted centuries ago. Their victory was assumed. Civilizations had fallen for less. The human ship arrived late. It did not broadcast its presence. It did not match any known energy signature. No weapons powered up. No shields flared. It simply emerged from folded space and stopped. That alone was unusual. The Armada did not open fire. Across the command bridges of 1,000 alien flagships, sensors recalibrated themselves without orders. Ancient targeting algorithms hesitated. Some systems quietly shut down as if refusing to proceed. The human ship was small. Too small, no escort, no defensive posture. Its hull was dark, absorbing light instead of reflecting it. There were no visible turrets, no engines glowing, no insignia to identify it. It was as if the ship did not want to be seen. The Supreme Admiral of the Armada ordered a scan. The scan returned nothing. Not interference, not jamming, nothing. As if the ship was not there at all. A second scan was attempted using pre-quantum sensors, then biological resonance, then relic technology banned by treaty and fear. Each attempt failed in a different way. One sensor array burned out completely. Another began transmitting data from a star system that no longer existed. For the first time in recorded history, the Armada slowed. If you want to understand why this moment mattered, why an empire built on conquest hesitated before a single human vessel, subscribe now. This story only becomes more dangerous from here. The order to advance was never given. Instead, a request was sent. The human ship responded instantly, not with words. Every screen on every command deck displayed the same image. A rotating three-dimensional model of the human vessel, layered with data the alien systems did not recognize. Timestamps ran backward, forward, sideways. Physics. Warnings began stacking faster. Then they could be dismissed. Then a message appeared. This ship is not armed. It is conditioned. No explanation followed. Several commanders demanded permission to fire anyway. Their weapons officers reported that firing solutions could not be completed. Each trajectory ended in paradox. Every simulated outcome ended with the same result. The Armada survived. The Empire did not. The Supreme Admiral felt something unfamiliar tighten in his chest. Not fear, recognition. The ship was not threatening them. It was reminding them. As the human vessel drifted closer, ancient war records began unlocking themselves without authorization. Battles erased from history, fleets lost without survivors, signals marked as impossible, all traced back to encounters that ended the same way, with a human ship that never fired a shot, and an armada that never recovered. The alien fleet remained frozen in space, the human ship barely moving but impossible to ignore. Sensors scrambled to classify its hull, its energy signature, anything that could explain why every algorithm and protocol had failed. Nothing made sense. The ship obeyed no known physics and no known tactics. It was neither threat nor ally. It simply existed. In the flagship's command chamber, the Supreme Admiral studied the readings. Historical archives began unlocking themselves again. Fragments of encounters long forgotten or intentionally erased. Entire civilizations had been subdued not with weapons or force, but by the mere presence of a human vessel. No firepower, no fleets, only a human ship that made entire war machines pause and reconsider. The aliens debated. Should they retreat, regroup, or attack? Every officer offered a solution, yet every suggestion collapsed under scrutiny. Each scenario ended with the same anomaly. The human ship always won without a single shot fired. The Supreme Admiral realized that they were not merely dealing with a ship. They were dealing with an idea, a principle, something beyond conventional understanding. The human vessel began a slow, deliberate drift closer to the Armada's center. Its dark hull absorbed light, making it appear almost intangible against the starfield. The alien commanders reported new anomalies. Time on their ship seemed to stretch and compress unpredictably. Weapons cooled as if sensing futility, shields lowered as if obeying some unspoken command. Every officer felt the same gnawing unease, though none could name it. Then the human ship projected something onto the Armada's central network. Not words, not symbols, but patterns, geometries that shifted and evolved like living organisms. Data that should have been impossible to process streamed into every terminal. Each alien vessel began interpreting it differently. Some systems shut down entirely. Others attempted countermeasures that dissolved into paradoxes. It was in that moment the Supreme Admiral understood the truth. This ship was not a warship in the conventional sense. It was a declaration. It represented humanity's ability to manipulate outcomes in ways no one else could predict. The mere presence of the ship forced thought, rewired assumptions, and challenged the fundamentals of strategy. And yet the ship did not advance with violence. It drifted closer slowly, silently, as if testing the Armada's resolve. The Supreme Admiral realized that an attack now would be suicide. The very act of aggression had already been anticipated and nullified by something in the human design. Every human fleet encounter in history had ended the same way, and now the same method was unfolding again. If you are wondering how a single human ship could stop an entire armada without firing a single shot, subscribe to follow this story. The next chapter reveals what the aliens finally see when they are forced to confront the full scale of human strategy. The human vessel paused in orbit around the command flagship. Light from distant stars glimmered along its hull, reflecting nothing and everything at once. The alien commanders were left staring, unable to comprehend fully what they faced. Something in them acknowledged an intelligence that exceeded their own. Something in them feared the potential they could not calculate. And then the Supreme Admiral, the oldest officer in the Armada, spoke the words no one else dared. We have never faced a human ship, but we are about to learn exactly what it can do. The human ship remained at the center of the Armada, still without shields or weapons raised. Its dark hull reflected the stars but revealed nothing of its inner workings. The Supreme Admiral watched every movement, every subtle drift, and realized that this vessel had rewritten the rules of engagement simply by existing. Reports flooded in from every flagship. Systems that had never failed in millennia were shutting down. Navigation arrays spun in endless loops. Weapons powered down without command. Even the fleet's AI assistants began issuing warnings that made no logical sense. Something about this human ship defied all calculation. Then the human ship began a subtle maneuver, almost imperceptible to the naked eye. It rotated slightly and a low pulse radiated outward. Not energy in the traditional sense, not a weapon, not a shield. Just a signal that resonated with the very essence of the alien fleet. Every vessel shuddered as if acknowledging a command it could not refuse. The Supreme Admiral finally understood. This was not a weapon in the traditional sense. It was a demonstration of intelligence, foresight, and control. Humanity had engineered a method to project decision-making faster than the universe could calculate. The human ship did not attack. It did not defend. It simply existed as proof that nothing in the Armada's history could match the ingenuity of a species underestimated for centuries. The alien commanders attempted one last coordinated strike, desperate to regain authority. Their weapons fired simultaneously, targeting the human vessel from every angle. Every missile, beam, and torpedo collapsed mid-flight. Calculations failed. Trajectories looped into impossibility. The Armada's attacks dissolved into chaos. Even the Supreme Admiral could not explain why, only that it was happening. The human ship paused once more, closer than ever. A holographic projection filled the void between it and the Armada. Not words, not threats, just the geometric language of humans. Patterns that suggested strategy, adaptation, and inevitability. The aliens studied it and realized the truth they could no longer deny. Humanity did not need overwhelming force to control outcomes. A single human ship using foresight, intellect, and timing could stop an entire armada without firing a shot. For the first time, the alien fleet hesitated. Doubt rippled through every officer and commander. They had never experienced hesitation on such a scale. The Supreme Admiral himself felt it, a chill unlike any fear he had known before. And then the human ship quietly drifted away, leaving the Armada intact but forever changed. No weapons fired, no battle fought. Only the knowledge that a single human mind had outmaneuvered thousands of years of conquest. If you want to discover what humans engineered aboard this ship, how they anticipated every possible move, and why the galaxy will never underestimate them again, watch the full story on YouTube and subscribe. The Supreme Admiral issued the first order since the human ship arrived. Not to attack, not to follow, only to record everything. To remember that a single human ship could make an empire pause and reconsider everything it thought it knew. And somewhere across the void of space, the human crew continued their silent voyage, leaving a galaxy forever questioning how one ship could stop thousands. and why humanity would never stop at anything.